Hey, it's Irreverent Aegis here, bringing you another tank build. I call this one the Pug Saver Crow. This build came about because I was doing a lot of pug groups for dungeons, and the problem was you never know who you're going to get. So I made this build as something that generates ultimate at a ridiculously rapid rate. That way, you can instantly resurrect all your dead pug friends. So this build, again, revolves around the Necro ultimate and generating ultimate rapidly. The main weapon and jewelry that I'm going to use here is Eternal Yokita. When you drop below 25% health in combat, you heal for a lot and you gain 100 ultimate. This is awesome because if you want an instant 100 ultimate, you just let your health drop to 25% or less, and bam, a bunch of ultimate, most likely enough to use your resurrection ulti. So I do usually run Eternal Yokita for this build. My monster helm is going to be Bloodspawn, which is actually getting a buff to the nerf that they did recently, so it's getting unnerfed essentially. When you take damage, you have a 6% chance to generate 8 ultimates. I believe that in the next patch later in 2020 is going back up to 13 ultimate. So that's awesome for a tank because you're constantly taking damage. Next, we're running Akaviri Dragon Guard. The 5-piece there, it reduces the cost of your ultimate abilities by 15%. I believe this is also getting a buff where the 5-piece also gives you some health recovery or something like that. Not that important. The ultimate reduction is the best. Another option, instead of Eternal Yokita or Akaviri Dragon Guard, is Werewolf Hide. It is a medium set, so it's best with weapons and jewelry. When you take damage, you generate 5 ultimate. I believe that's also getting a buff next patch to 6 ultimate. That can occur every 5 seconds. On top of being a Nord, whereas you take damage, you also generate 5 ultimate. You can generate ultimate passively very rapidly with Werewolf Hide if you choose to swap out for that set instead. You can also use a 3-piece weapon jewelry set, the Potentates, Blessing of the Potentates. This is essentially Akaviri Dragon Guard's 5-piece, but it's a 3-piece instead, so it reduces the cost of your ultimate abilities by 15%. What's really nice about running a 3-piece set is that you can actually run the 3-piece set with a Mythic item and another 5-piece set. So that is great if you want to run a Mythic item on your tank. You can run Potentates with Eternal Yokita, or you can run it with Akaviri Dragon Guard. Probably not a good idea to run it with Werewolf Hide because it competes for that spot. But if you do choose to do that and use a mythic item, Bloodlord's Embrace is my go-to. There's another one that gives you a lot of resource recovery as well in certain conditions, but I prefer Bloodlord's Embrace. You generate a lot of ultimate while you're blocking. So that is the gear that you'll be wearing. In terms of skills, we're looking at, on your main bar, Hungry Scythe, Agony Totem. Hungry Scythe is your tank heal, Agony Totem gives you minor protection, and Fear Sting is great crowd control, obviously your taunt, and Spirit Guardian for the 10% damage transfer. Finally, on that front bar, we want Heroic Slash. Not only does it give minor maim, but you also gain minor heroism, so that's, again, great for ultimate generation. Your front bar, ultimate, is going to be your Glacial Colossus. What's really cool about this build is you can actually get a Colossus on a boss fight about every 45 seconds, which is fantastic. So if you're running with a good pug group, instead of using a res ulti, you just keep dropping Glacial Colossus and giving major vulnerability to the boss. On your back bar, again, I like to run a tank heal. It's kind of a flex spot. I just like to have it on both bars. But Necrotic Potency is huge, gives you 6 ultimate for every corpse that you absorb. So that's great. If there's a lot of corpses, you get a ton of ultimate. If not, you'll be generating a couple of corpses here and there as well, so it just speeds up that ultimate generation process. I also like to run Blockade of Frost, and of course Major Resolve on my bar as well. And of course the bread and butter of this build is Renewing Animation, which costs a lot less when you're running Akaviri Dragon Guard, only 284 ultimate with the 15% reduction.